Wow, another session of Chalk Talking with one of my favorite. Max has been with PeopleConnect for, it seems like for a while, let's say a couple decades at least, and probably the Silicon Valley go-to guy when you're looking to recruit your top team. You're a startup, you're in the Valley, you've been funded, or you're looking for that next stage of funding, and they want to see some exclusive members to join that team. So I brought on Max, and Max, welcome to Chalk Talk.
Hey, thanks. Thank you, Keith. It's my pleasure. Happy to be here.
Well, I'm almost discrediting you by saying you're a retained search firm because you do so much more. And you've been doing so much more. I know you're actively involved as an angel investor, but you also are like the teacher for so many startups who are trying to figure out, how do I raise money? What does my pitch need to say? What does it need to look like? Who do I go to? What events do I go to? And so many more things. But for the purpose of Chalk Talk, let's drop a play, Max. An early stage company comes into your offices and they say, look, I need to hire this CXO or this CRO or some key members of my team. What will you sit down and how will you coach them up?
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. Just one correction. We're not retained. We are a contingency firm.
Oh,
So
right. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
no, no, that's okay. And I
I meant
like
to ask you the difference so you could clarify that for
yeah, no,
everybody.
be happy to. The retained guys get paid whether or not they make a placement. I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri. Missouri, as a few people might know, is called the show me state. So I don't want to take your money unless we do what we promise. So
That's
we
great.
we get paid if we're successful. So when someone comes to us, and we've been doing this for 25 years with a very experienced team. And what we say is you can't build a great company without great people. So what we want to do is we want to really find out what the client is looking for, what their pain points are, whether they've been looking to fill this position for a while. I hate it when really early stage companies get a little bit of money and they go to hire two or three people and they talk to an advisor and they have two people and they're going to choose one of them. What we do when we work on a search, we put together a list of 150 people, which comes from old-fashioned headhunting, what recruiters used to have to do before there was this crazy thing called the internet.
Right,
And
right.
and then we are going to be on the internet not just on LinkedIn or Indeed, but we're going to be on 135 different job boards, discussion groups, and we also have an incredible database of 80,000 candidates. So to your point, what we're looking to do is find that superstar that's going to fit in the team. And back in the late 60s, early 70s, I was a scout in the NBA. I scouted for the Phoenix Suns. I scouted for the San Diego Rockets, who are now the Houston Rockets. And I was looking for that, proverbial needle in the haystack. And that's what we're trying to do at PeopleConnect. Let me give you an example. We had a client who had some new technology that could help people with heart issues. And the client said, I want you to find, he was a German American guy, and he said, I want you to find me some candidates from the fat belt. And I said, what's the fat belt? And he said, Kentucky, Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, where people eat too much and they need more blood tests, and that's what we're selling. And I said, well, okay, all right, I learned something new. I never knew about the fat belt. We found him a vice president of sales, which is what he was looking for, a guy who was based in Atlanta, who had the right background and came to work for them as a VP of sales. Several months later, the CEO contacted me and said, we just closed our B round. We got $20 million from Bain Capital, and we couldn't have done it without this VP of sales. So, that's what we love doing, is helping companies find great people that leads to funding.
It's
And
funny too. People who don't understand, it truly is a needle in a haystack in a frothy market, in a crazy market, and in all situations, because it's more than just the person with the resume, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You've got to really dig down and find out who that person is. My team is very, very good at that. We, in addition to helping early stage companies build great teams, and what makes us unique is that we fill any position at any level for any type of candidate anywhere in the US. So that's different, Keith, as you know, and as anybody who's, half awake knows, most recruiters just focused in one area. Hey, if you need a CFO, my name is Joe, and all we've got is CFOs. If you need software developers, I'm Susie. I can help you. We fill any and all positions. A couple of years ago, a cannabis company in Boulder, Colorado, was looking for three people. We had never done any cannabis searches at all. They needed a a VP of sales. They needed a COO and a bookkeeper. So we're talking C-suite, VP, individual contributor. We
Yeah.
filled all three positions. Uh,
Wow.
yeah. And in addition to helping companies build great teams, which we've been doing for 25 years, we also run weekly pitch events called PitchForce. We used to alternate between San Francisco and Silicon Valley. Once COVID hit, the next week we were on Zoom, and we've been there now in our fifth year of helping early stage startups get the money so they can build great teams. And we just there's no guarantees that if people participate in our pitch force they're going to get funding, but we just had and about 3 months ago we had a company pitch very interesting technology to bring healthy type soda machines into corporate, and there was somebody listening in from Mexico City, a VC, and they just signed a term sheet for $2 million.
I love it.
That's an outlier.
Talk about
Yeah.
some new technology, right?
Right, right. No, so Keith, as you know, I'm not a kid. I'm 81 years old. I work 60 hours a week, but this doesn't feel like work. Talking to you doesn't feel like work.
Max,
Helping
I
early
tell you
stage
what,
companies.
it comes across. And for everyone that's listening, man, if you haven't been to a PitchForce event and you're raising money, you should be smoking some of that Colorado stuff that he helped build. The fact is, you've got great investors who have domain expertise, are there to either coach you up, give you feedback, or write you a check. Which one of those don't help?
Yeah, yeah. I had one of my friends who's not very knowledgeable about the startup space watch one of my events, and he says, "How much do you pay those investors to be?" I said, "I don't pay them anything. They're looking for deals to invest in. They're looking for companies to help. They love being there. We have
But what they're saying is you do a great job of curating your list so you don't bring a lot of fluff. You bring people that are prepared, which is nice too. It's not Y Combinator. It's a unique event. It's really special.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
So
Appreciate that.
keep doing it. Give me another tip, Max, as I'm representing my portfolio of my own 20 or so companies that I'm consulting, mentoring, advising in. They always are looking for people. Why do I come to Max versus those other dozen folks reaching out?
Because we're the only recruiting company that I'm aware of that only works with early stage tech companies filling every position.
Yeah.
So you can come to us and we can help you fill any position. On the fundraising side, Keith, I want to make a couple of points because companies pitch and we give them a template to follow. 4 minutes pitch, and you write out 600 words. This is what you should say. Some of them follow it, some of them don't. But so often I hear pitches where it's a technical person, and in 4 minutes they're spending 3 minutes on the technology on their solution, which investors would get in 15 seconds. And it's so important to keep this in your mind if you are raising money. The purpose of your pitch is to get another meeting. And in order to get another meeting, you have to talk about how the investor is going to make money. WIIFM, what's in it for me as an investor? And it's hard. It's hard. You've got to prepare, and spend the time to prepare. There's a great book written by a friend of ours called Sticking to My Story by Donna Griffith, that if anybody's looking to improve their ability to give a pitch,
Yes.
I would definitely spend the $25 on Amazon, get that book, Sticking to My Story. And if someone does spend the money and they don't think they got $25 worth of value, shoot me an email and I'll send you 25 bucks. I haven't had to do it yet.
She and I slipped up on a few meetings ourselves, but she'll be on Chalk Talk again soon. And Max, I think you're absolutely right. One final question. What's the most common mistake a CEO makes in terms of bringing on top team?
Yeah, the most common mistake is saying, we don't need to work with an outside recruiter. I say you have to, whether you don't have to work with PeopleConnect, but find somebody who's been in the business for a while. You can't be a recruiter yourself, and you might know a couple people, but that you're not looking at the whole universe that any strong recruiting firm is looking at. So to think that you can do it yourself in your spare time when you're trying to fundraise, you're trying to run your business, it doesn't make any sense. It's penny wise and pound foolish.
Yeah, those are great words, Max. I gotta say, thinking about our upcoming discussion, I went through my list of folks I've worked with, and I was so fortunate to be able to make an introduction or two that led to somebody getting a job. It's just so fulfilling, isn't it? I mean,
Oh,
you get to experience that on a regular basis.
yeah.
Find somebody a job is one thing, and then you find somebody a great career is a
Yes.
whole other.
Yeah, for sure. No, I love it. That's, that's why I work so hard. It's exciting, and to be right here in the heart of all the action, Silicon Valley, with everything that's has gone on and is now going on in the AI space. We do our events, on Zoom, but as you know, a couple of weeks ago, and you were there, we had an AI event, and we had 100 people there. We had 27 companies pitching to 80 investors, both in the room and on Zoom, and it was just a huge success. The AI space is clearly, taking off, as everybody knows.
I have to mention that myself because Max, what a difference too. Now listen, there are trade-offs. There's value to being virtual, surely, but being in person to me felt like 10x in
Oh
terms
yeah,
I'm trying to present to you my idea, and then you have time to sidebar with me one-on-one, and then
yeah,
we can go to the corner and go to the next 2 or 3 meetings and just cut the whole discussion. Now, some of those conversations aren't moving forward, but a couple of them are.
yes, yeah, and we just it's Wednesday will be 2 weeks, and I've talked to several of the entrepreneurs, and they're in serious discussions with investors today. So that
Yeah.
feels great, and we're doing another one October 24th, another AI PitchForce and conference in San Francisco at Reed Smith, their
What's
law.
that? What's the topic? What's the focus there?
It's going to be just the same as it was the one
Okay.
2 weeks ago. It's all AI. We're going to have expert panels. We're going to have 20 or 30 companies pitching to many, many investors.
All right. I want to see a couple of my friends on the pitch lineup because it is a great event. Kudos to you, Max, for putting it on, and thanks for sharing a little bit of your insights here with Chalk Talk.
I loved it. Thanks, Keith. Love your enthusiasm and your dedication to the start.
Man, you're a great, I can't 60 hours a week. Come on. Eight.
Seriously, my wife says, "Stop already. You're killing yourself." I said, "I love it. I'm working on a plan to cut down to 20 hours a week, and bring somebody else on to assist my team. But it's this, I get my juices flowing from this.
All right. Well, keep it going. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Keith. It's a pleasure. Let me know when you got something that I can see. We'll put it on LinkedIn and shoot it out also. Thank you so much.